After the 45 minutes of that game, right after the first half, I came out of it thinking, how the hell are we not winning this game? And now, at the end of the game, I've come out of it thinking, how the hell did we lose that game? I think this is the end, man. I think this is the end. Like, for me, it should have been the end a long time ago, but after today, I don't see how he survives past this. I don't see how he can realistically look at the board and speak to his higher ups and justify that the current position that he has us in is tenable. It's justifiable. We're currently tied on points with a team in West Ham who have beaten us today, dubiously I might add, but they have beaten us, and whose manager has been the laughingstock of the entire league. I think everybody has looked at Julian Lopetegui this season and said, how is he still in a job? When are West Ham going to fire him? How could they replace David Moyes with this guy? And yet, after 10 games of this season, how far are we into the year? After 9 games of the season, After 9 games of the season, we're level on points with them. Level on points of a team that have been absolutely hopeless all year. So if they're hopeless, what are we? I look at that first half, right? And I have to say, I think it was some of the best football we played all season. In fact, it's some of the best football I've seen from a Ten Hag team in the last year, to be honest with you. There were chances being created for fun. We were able to retain the ball. And even when we lost it, we recovered it well, really, really well. And you look at some of the chances that players have missed today, right? Garnacho, who we're going to talk about, right? But he goes through on goal, doesn't even hit the target. He's sent through, hits the crossbar. You look at Bruno, who misses a wide open, I wouldn't say wide open, but it's a big chance that he misses that header that he puts over the bar. And Bruno played a really, really good game today. For me, the best game that he's played this season, especially in that first half. But that's a gilt-edged chance. Rasmus Højlund does well to kind of carve out a chance for himself and then misses himself. And then the one that I can't wrap my mind around. I cannot believe that he didn't put Man United ahead in this game. Diogo Dalot. Literally, you will not see an easier chance in the Premier League this season to finish. The goal is gaping. The keeper is out of the equation. Players are scrambling to get back. The goal is at his mercy. And Diogo Dalot has inexplicably managed to put the ball over a wide open net. That game, or I should say that first half, should have finished Man United 4, West Ham 0. After 45 minutes. West Ham, quite simply, were not in that game whatsoever. They couldn't sniff the ball when they did. They often lost it very, very quickly. Defensively, they were a shambles. There was poor communication at the back. They were missing their best player today in Mohamed Kudus. It was beyond me how United weren't winning after that first half. But here's the issue of Man United, and it's been an issue for a long, long time under Erik ten Hag, and it's the fact that this team cannot seem to put 2 back-to-back even decent halves together. Against Crystal Palace, it was similar, right? The first half, it was basically United domination, United missed chances. We go into the second half thinking, okay, build out that momentum, finish the game off. They come out flat. Palace get back into the game. They could have even won it themselves. You see sometimes against Brentford, the first half, not so great. Brentford had chances. In fact, they take the lead in that game. And in the second half, United wake up. It was similar against Porto. It was similar against Twente. It was similar against, at the midweek, Fenerbahce. And it's similar again today. The second half, Chet, for 30 minutes of that second half, the first 30 minutes, 45 to 75, Julian Lopetegui, the same manager that has been getting bossed by anybody and everybody this season, managed to cage and box in Man United into their own half, and sometimes in their own box, for 30 minutes straight. For 30 minutes! 30 of the 45 minutes of that game, of that half, consisted of West Ham peppering United, boxing them into their own half, and eventually taking the lead. And this is where I look at United, right? And you can talk about all the missed chances, and I'm sure that's what Ten Hag is going to come out with today, and that's what fans will talk about, and I hear it. United should have won that first half, and they should have been clear away in that game. That game should have been wrapped up after 45 minutes. But the game doesn't end after 45 minutes. And the ref didn't... look, we're going to talk about the penalty decision at the end, but there's no one to look at when it comes to the missed chances in the first half but yourselves. So to come out in the second half that flat and that pedestrian and that almost content, oh, you know what, the game will come to us, right? We missed all those chances. We deserve to be winning, so we'll probably end up winning this game. This is the Premier League. You give teams even an inch and they'll take a mile. You give the teams even a smell of blood and they'll go in for a kill. And that's exactly what West Ham did. Now, United did okay after that, actually. In fact, that seemed to wake up Man United in that game. All of a sudden, they had a bit of energy after they went down behind. They had a bit of hunger. I don't know why it takes going behind for this team to wake up, but for some reason it does. And from there, they get a deserved equalizer from Casemiro. There's a brilliant pass from Ahmad, who, yet again, I maintain, how is Amad Diallo consistently left out for the wingers and the attackers that Ten Hag seems to favor every single game? How? We don't have Neymar and Messi on either side, guys. We don't have Bale and Ronaldo. We don't have Ribery and Robin, Salah and Mane. Ahmad is hardly the best player in the world. But the guys who are playing above him, ahead of him, get chance after chance after chance after chance after chance. They get to make mistake after mistake after mistake. They get to miss chance after chance. And yet, the next game, they're given the same liberty. Ahmad, I don't even think had a bad start to the season. I actually think he's one of our more promising players. And yet, for some reason, the minute Garnacho got back into full fitness, out goes Ahmad. You never see him again. And we were going to watch him go 3 games without even appearing for a minute until Anthony had to come out. But Ahmad, the minute he came in, has an impact. That pass, the goal that Casemiro scores, it starts from Ahmad's dink to the back post to Dalot, finds its way to Xerxes to Casemiro, 1-1, deserved. But then again, from there, it just felt like United took their foot off the accelerator. This is a team, United, that should be in desperation mode right now. In the first half, we played like that. But for 90 minutes, we should be in desperation mode. This season is a disaster. It's somehow even worse than it was last year, which is bewildering to me. But regardless, it is. We're fighting. We should be fighting for our lives and fighting for every single loose ball and fighting for every single blade of grass 90 minutes in a row. And yet this team just finds an excuse to be pedestrian, complacent, go through the motions at times. It's bewildering to me. You'd think this is a team at the top of the table. You'd think this is a team that are like comfy reaching their goals. I can't believe it. And yes, the goal that United concede at the very end, right? The penalty. In my opinion, it's not a penalty. It's poor from VAR because the referee doesn't even call it in live time. And in VAR, in a situation where they're only supposed to pull it back if it's a clear and obvious error, decide to do just that when I really don't believe that was the case. And they've decided that Matthijs de Ligt infringes Danny Ings. Now, was it a little clumsy from de Ligt? Absolutely. Does he have to kind of go through like that? Maybe not. But the fact is, de Ligt, his knee hits the ball first, and there's minimal contact with Danny Ings. Like, it's not like he's completely scythed down Danny Ings. It's a loose ball. And that's how this game has been decided. And it's a damn shame because I don't think United deserve to lose this game. But at the same time too, right? And this isn't to take anything away from that decision because at the end of the day, I think that's the reason United have lost this game. But it's so disappointing seeing again how United approaches second halves or approaches back-to-back halves. It's never the same intensity. It's never the same mentality to just kill and go for results and win football games. I don't know what gets said at halftime. I don't. But one thing for me is for sure, right? You can say all you want about how the first half, the misses are not on Erik ten Hag. He coached a good first half. I would agree with that. And it's not his fault that Garnacho can't score. It's not his fault that Dalot has missed an open goal. It's not. But what is his fault is the failure to, again, like I said, put halves together because a football game is not decided on 45 minutes. It's a full 90-minute game. And it is his fault that this team can't score goals long-term because over a game, you can say all these misses. But when your side consistently has issues, and this has been a consistent issue for Manchester United in Erik ten Hag's 3 seasons here, consistently this team has been poor in front of goal, no matter who they play up front. Whether it was Cristiano Ronaldo up front, whether it was Val Veghorst up front, whether it was Rasmus Højlund up front, whether now it's Joshua Zirkzee up front, whether it was Garnacho on the left, whether it's Rashford on the left, whether it was Sancho on the left, whether it was Antony on the right, Ahmad on the right, Garnacho on the right, now Rashford on the right. No matter who Man United line up with, there is a serious issue with actually putting chances away. And why is that the case? First and foremost, I have to say this, right? No matter what my qualms are with Erik ten Hag, this attack that United have cooked up, that they've put together, and yes, part of that is down to his recruitment. Don't get it twisted. But the attack, the group of attackers that United have put together this season is a poor group. It is a poor group. There is one recognized goal scorer in that team, Marcus Rashford. And what I mean by recognized, a player that has a body of work of being able to put goal-scoring seasons with an S at the end of that together. He's proven that he can score goals consistently in this league. But even Rashford, while he's the best of a bad bunch, is still a patchy player. That's a fact. He's been a patchy player throughout his career. But then you look at the rest of these guys. Rasmus Højlund. People were talking to me at halftime about, well, if you give Rasmus Højlund more chances and a better team, he'd score more goals. He constantly, basically, his XG is higher than the goals he scores, meaning that he puts away chances. That might be the case. I'm not here to say Rasmus Højlund can't put chances away, but the fact is, the guy's movement for a center forward at the elite level is poor. It's poor. There's a reason why, okay, as uncreative sometimes as United are as a team, the ball never seems to find Rasmus Højlund. It never seems to. Whenever balls get put in the box, it almost seems like Rasmus Højlund is always in the wrong position. He doesn't put himself into good goal-scoring positions, man. His movement, his anticipation is not that of an elite number 9. So you can talk to me all you want about overperforming XG or whatever. At the end of the day, This guy doesn't move like an elite center forward. And you are always going to struggle, in my opinion, as Rasmus Højlund in this current state of his career as a top Premier League team. I look at Joshua Zirkzee, I have similar issues, right? Obviously, he doesn't play the full game today, but we've seen Joshua Zirkzee a number of times. This is, again, not a guy that's reliable in front of goal. He's not a guy that has any kind of experience or history of being a reliable goal scorer at any kind of level. Is he a good footballer? Yes, he is. Is he a guy that you can rely on to consistently score you goals in this league? No, he's not. Ditto for Amad Diallo, ditto for Antony, and Garnacho is probably, in terms of goals in the last year and a half, yeah, he's scored you goals, but he's also shown you today and numerous times as well too that, look, he's not going to score you 15 Premier League goals. Like, he can score you goals in bunches as well too. Energetic guy. But if you're relying on Alejandro Garnacho to be the guy that you can give the ball to in dangerous situations and get you out of trouble and score you goals consistently in this league, again, you will be in trouble. And that's already the guys I don't think are good enough to be leading the line for a top Premier League team, which is what Man United are aspiring to be, or at least I would hope so. But then also think about it. I just named you 6 guys, right? I just named you basically 6 guys. The 6 guys aren't that great, and it's a thin pool of attackers as well too. So that's an issue for Man United, and it's an issue that has been consistent throughout Ten Hag's 3 years here. Every single season for Man United, they have struggled to score goals. Struggled. Season 1, Season 2, Season 3. They are never amongst the top scorers in the Premier League. There's a reason for that. And then I look defensively too, man. The calamitous mistakes that this group makes, whether it's through organizational issues as a unit or individual mistakes, it's bewildering. I need to highlight somebody today because I feel like he's had credit in the bank the last year because of his performances last season and because we saw an uptick in form. But I'm sorry. He's not an elite defender to be given like lifelong credit in the bank like per se Van Dijk. And his performances this season are bewildering. I'm talking about Diogo Dalot. Like I said, last season, I actually think he was one of United's better players. And I don't just mean, he was the best of a bad bunch. I actually thought he put together a pretty good season. And I actually thought for the first time in his United career, he was finally putting it all together. I look at him physically, he's an athletic guy. Technically, he's not the worst on the ball. Mentality, he's often been talked about as United's best trainer. But his defensive performances this season, as well as his end product in the final third, is absolutely horrendous. He leaves guys trailing at the back post. He fails to track people's runs. He finds himself in dangerous positions and never seems to be able to pick out a man in the box. And then today, to top it all off, put in a 1v1 situation. Not even that. He gets past the goalkeeper. Open goal. Skies it over the bar. Dalot this season has been awful. Awful. And it's why, for me, I struggle to really get behind a lot of players in this team. And Dalot, for me, sums up the issue with Man United fans. I hate to make this about United fans because clearly there's bigger problems at the club than us. But there's a core problem with Man United fans. We overhype and overrate players based on little to no evidence. All it takes for a player to be basically heralded as world-class or top 5 in his position, or, he'd bang out a different team, is what, 3 or 4 good performances, 5 good performances, and all of a sudden, these guys are untouchable. Diogo Dalot, the conversations this guy was being put in at the start of this season, based on what? Maybe a few good months of form? Look at the way this guy is playing this year. No self-proclaimed top-level fullback in world football would ever give you this run of bad performances. They wouldn't. I feel for a few guys today. I actually think the midfield today, in the first half in particular, did a really good job. I thought today was Bruno's best game. I thought creatively the guy was unbelievable tonight. Honestly, the amount of balls that he put on a plate for guys. In between the lines, I thought his passing was really, really neat. I think Bruno was our best player today. I think Casemiro, since the Liverpool game, has actually improved game on game on game. And at the moment, looks undroppable. Sorry, Ugarte. But it's like I said when we first signed you. I'm not sure if you're better than Casemiro when Casemiro is fit. I'm being proved right there. Fair play to Casemiro because I didn't think that he could still do it this season. But his performances have actually been pretty good. Today, he's one of our United's better players. And Eriksen, it doesn't seem like this team can operate without him. Without him in the center of the park. Because he's the only one that's willing to actually sit on the ball, calm things down, and pass it around. So I feel for those 3 guys. But the rest of these guys, man, the forward line for me is an absolute disgrace. It is. And defensively, the amount of mistakes that these guys commit is shocking. But at the end of the day, the buck will always stop at the manager. It will. And again, you guys can tell me all you want about how many chances United created today and how it's not Ten Hag's fault that players miss chances. I get all that. But you have to look at it as more than just one game here. We're 9 games into the season in the Premier League. We're about 14 in all competitions. And we are 3 years in to this guy's project. After 3 seasons, we find ourselves level on points with West Ham, who up to today were considered one of the laughing stocks of the league. The buck has to stop, man. I've stopped making reactions on Europa League games because for me, I can't put myself through that. I watched the game half bothered because honestly, it's upsetting to me that United are even in this competition. It upsets me even more that I have to watch this team against basically what's considered the second rate in Europe and struggle to even be on a level playing field with them. Call me prestige all you want, but I expect better from this club. I do. I have higher standards for this club, and that's the biggest issue at its core. Anybody still trying to rationalize what we're watching under Erik ten Hag, 3 years in, has completely allowed the standards of this club to slip. And it upsets me because I've known for the longest time that the board level up until this season, and I'm starting to have question marks, but regardless, up until this season, the board level was unacceptable. We have one of the worst boards, the worst ownerships the last few years of any club in Europe, let alone the elite. I look at the management, I don't rate this manager whatsoever. I look at the players, I don't think the squad of players is great. So the standards in each one of those regards has slipped massively. But one thing we as fans can always do, no matter what the team is doing, no matter what the manager is doing, no matter what the ownership is doing, is hold the club accountable. And I fear, not even I fear, I know now, because I watched it against Fenerbahce, watching people rationalize the way we played in that first half against them. At least we're winning. We didn't end up winning that game. And it's in the Europa League. I've clocked now too many sections of this fan base have completely allowed the standards of Man United to slip. It doesn't bother people anymore. Genuinely, we have fully accepted as a fan base that this is what the club is. We shouldn't be expected to go head to head against any serious team. We should just be happy with whatever the club serves us. We take results wherever they come, and whenever we lose a game, we have reasons to excuse it. Losing at this club, playing poorly at this club, doesn't bother anybody anymore. And that for me is unforgivable because now I've gotten to the point where I don't recognize this club anymore. Honestly, like I said, we've been bad for a few years now. We haven't won a Premier League title in 10 years. We haven't had a manager basically finish top 4 back-to-back seasons, bar one, in a decade. But the minute it starts not upsetting fans and fans are kind of just happy to sit by and watch it happen, that's where for me, I can't recognize this club anymore. And seriously, if Erik ten Hag is going to manage another game after today, let me ask you guys this. Where does the next win come from? What's the next game that United are playing that you can confidently say, yeah, we're going to win that game? Let me tell you what. It's not this weekend against Chelsea. It's not. Let me look up United's next fixtures. Chelsea, Leicester, Ipswich, Everton, Arsenal. How many points are United getting out of that run? Maybe 7 max. That's max out of 15. I could easily see them finishing with 4. And this is against 3 teams that are near the bottom of the table. And I'm saying, yeah, we could get 4 to 7 points. There is nothing stopping Man United this season if they maintain with Ten Hag this year from finishing bottom half. Let me make that very, very clear. This is the last I'm going to say on this. There is every chance that this club finishes in the bottom half if they maintain Ten Hag the rest of the season. And again, I asked this question to the ownership. What is the goal? What are we trying to do here? Are we just happy to kind of let a season completely bypass us? All in the name of a long-term plan. In the name of a long-term plan and a project that we don't even know exists yet or if it's capable yet under this manager. We're willing to just throw away individual seasons. Because that's the impression I'm getting right now. Every single week we don't fire this manager. For me, it's sad.